everyone. Well, thanks again for joining me on another house therapy staging DIY video. Well, this week we're focusing on making any space into a livable space. So what do I mean by that? Well, today I'm at my client's house and I'm going to turn this unused media center into their new bar. Now, my clients are, I would say, a mixologist. They loved to create cocktails. I mean, that's what they love to do in their spare time. So I want to make sure that their space that I'm creating will allow them to be inspired for all of their great cocktails and to be organized, and also especially to look good. So why don't we take this old media center and turn it into something that is totally useful and looks great in their home? So let's get started. So the first step in converting this old media center into their new bar is trying to figure out what to do with the hole of where the TV would normally be placed. I decided that I'm going to repurpose and use one of the shelves from their cabinets. As you can see right behind me right there, they're not using these shelves, so I'm going to take a couple of these shelves and I'm going to place them right where that hole is. So we took some of the shelves that came from the cabinets next door, and we took the shelves and we covered up the hole where the TV would normally be. Now, I know that some people normally just don't have shelves or wood lying around, so I would suggest maybe grabbing some artwork and placing it strategically, covering up the hole. Just try to find a piece of artwork that is pretty long. This is a 12 by 18, and I think that would have covered up nicely. But for this particular project, I'm just gonna keep it nice and clean and just stick with the wood. So the next step in turning this media center into the home bar is adding some beautiful trays to it. I'm gonna add the trays to both the top and the bottom of the shelf. It's going to help keep the bottles organized and make it look like a bar. Perfect. So now our media center is starting to look like a bar because we added these great looking trays. And I like the fact that they're the same trays because there's going to be a lot of bottles that are going to be placed inside. So it's going to help it give it a streamlined look. So the next thing that I want to address is going to be that top shelf. Now it's actually a little bit of an awkward shape. So I'm a little bit challenged. I don't want to put bottles all across. You know, my favorite thing that I love to use for decorating are books. I think they're perfect for this space, and especially if they are books on cocktails and food. What better way to add some interest to this new bar but to add some decor of some books. I like to organize the books by color and by height. Great, so I added some books to the shelves and I think they look great, and it makes it look a little bit more interesting than just having rows of bottles across the shelf. Now I'm going to start adding some more bottles to the top shelf. Now I'm going to go ahead and place the liqueurs that are normally not used only once in a while, and we're also going to add the bar novelties that really just get pulled out on occasion. So we're not only repurposing this media space for the bar, but we're also going to have some smart storage as well. That we filled up the shelf. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on the middle shelf. So when you're styling a bar, it's always good to put the bulkier items to the back so it helps anchors it. So I'm going to add ice bucket and also add the homeowner's juice presser to the back. It's going to anchor the styling of the trays. So I added the heavier items to the back of the bar, but I couldn't anchor them exactly on one end to the other because it just wouldn't fit. The juicer was a little bit bigger. So I actually just shifted the tray over and added the ice bucket into the tray. And I just made sure that the other tray that I shifted it over so that they're perfectly aligned. So the next step is adding some more bottles, and I'm going to make sure that the bottles are organized like so. And I think a good way to keep the bottles all together is making sure maybe all the gin is together, all the vodka's together, and putting it in those groups and categories. So I'm gonna add the similar types of liquor together so it keeps it nice and organized. And maybe I'll do some sort of like martini bar at the very top tray just to give it some sort of theme. Now you can't have a bar without having the proper tools. So the next thing I'm going to add are all these great looking stainless steel tools. I'm just gonna add them to the trays. I think it'll create some great interest and look and height, but it goes perfectly well. Perfect spot for our bar. Great. So the next step I'm going to do is to add glassware. What a great way to take out this beautiful stemware in cupboards and display it on the trays. Now, to make it interesting, I'm not just going to put these martini glasses up, but I'm also going to add these type of cups and glasses into the tray as well. I'll do it face down so that it doesn't collect dust. If I can't do a 4 square, then I'm going to do it more like in a triangle. Perfect. I have one more piece of glassware I'm going to add too. I'm just going to add it to the back. Now our bar is looking more and more styled and more like a bar and less like a media center. So taking this old media center and making it into the bar, I'm gonna have to do something with this last shelf. Now it is a very short height, probably was used to put in a DVD player, but now what are we gonna add to this? Well, be a mixologist, you have to have all of your bitter bottles. So my client has a ton of bitter bottles that I'm just gonna perfectly place inside in this smaller shelf. I organized the bitters bottles by size and shape. So the bar is almost all together. Added the bitters to the bottom shelf, and now I see that there are some gaps that need to fill, so I'm going to add some more books and maybe a little bit more bar accessories, and we're almost there. So there you have it. We were able to repurpose this unused media center into the brand new bar area, and we were able to declutter the cabinet space. So I hope this video gave you an idea of maybe taking a look around your home, finding if there is extra space, how to repurpose it to make it into something new and livable. If you like this video, make sure to like it below, share it with a friend, subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're not going to want to miss out on next week's DIY. And as always, share inspiration, share beauty. See you next time. Bye.